Good afternoon for a second time today. ATC News readers, viewers and listeners, in the final interview here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, we are talking to Ms. Jacqueline Mugisha. She is the Director of Sales and Marketing here at the hotel, and we'll be hearing from her how well the hotel was doing before the pandemic struck Uganda and the lockdown happened, how she managed to see the hotel through this difficult period of full lockdown and part lockdown, and what the outlook of the hotel is, what she's going to do, and how creative she's going to be to find business and bring it in here. Jacqueline,
Yes.
all in your court, how good was business in comparison with past years in January and February and into March?
Thank you for the opportunity. We definitely anticipated to have a fantastic year this year. All signs showed that everything is going to be rosy. We had so many conferences that had been lined up. If you're all aware, we had the G77 summit, inspections done, rooms taken, and everything all set to go. We had another conference that was scheduled immediately after the G77 summit, and that was a Ministry of Health actually conference that was also slated for the same period immediately after, that is in April. And we've seen cancellations. We started seeing cancellations after the wave for even other conferences that were ahead. Or in May, we had registered conferences in October and in November, up to actually December. We had business that had been booked and paid for, actually, some of it. So it was a good start of the year. February, as a hotel, we had met our budget, which hasn't been the norm for quite some time since we had competition come into the market. But we saw a wave of things getting better. March had picked up on a very good start. But when mid-March approached, that is when COVID stretched out its hands and reached the Horn of Africa. So in January, we were hearing of COVID in Wuhan. We didn't know how much it's going to go and affect the rest of the world. So by mid-March, it was very clear that the world has gone upside down. The economy has gone into shambles, and travels had been halted. Lockdowns began in Europe, in other countries, and eventually it dawned onto us in May that we had to go as well as a country into a lockdown, and that called for a closure on the activities of the hotel and in the country generally. But there's a fine line it always is within something. So as a team in the hotel, we had to figure out ways to stay afloat. Do we close the hotel completely, gates closed and everything done, all of us go lights out, or do we think out of the box and stay relevant and create top of mind awareness into the market that we can still do it, that together we can hold hands and sail through the situation. So at the Sheraton, we put on our thinking caps. We came up with ideas in how we can stay relevant and yet still connect with the communities. We came up with amazing campaigns. We started with our beautiful facade. This facade here, the hotel has been around for over 53 years. So it has a lot of sentiments with the community. Most of the people have grown up seeing the Sheraton.
It's a landmark.
Yes, it's a landmark in the country. So we had a hat campaign that flashed out every evening at 7 p.m. We had our rooms crafted into a heart-shaped form that everybody would view from Kololo, from Naguru, from Kibuli, everywhere around the 7 hills of the city. They could see that heart light up in the midst of it all at 7 p.m. promptly, and we had amazing views and tweets and feedback and comments of how we have touched the community. So we went through that and thought, okay, now we have touched you emotionally. How can we touch your palates as well? So we came up with a delivery concept that we can reach and bring the Sheraton to your doorstep. Do not miss out on the good things, do not miss out on good foods. We can still bring the good food to you. So we came out with a delivery concept. We partnered with Jumia and Safe Border, and we started delivering food throughout Ramadan. We used to take food, and we've continued through. Cakes Temptations has done amazingly well throughout the COVID.
So instead of iftar meals here, as
Yes,
was the tradition in past years, when Muslims and their friends break fast,
Yes.
you brought the food to them
Yeah, to them. So
after they broke fast.
yes, absolutely. So you make your pre-order the day before. For quick meals, you could order the same day, but for the goat uzis and all these that need a lot of marination and sleeping over in the oven overnight, so those were pre-ordered the day before. So we realized it was a good way of thinking fast. It caught up so easily in the market. We actually surpassed our revenues for Temptations Cake Shop from the previous year during this period. So this is why I said there's always a silver lining in everything. So our budgets for Temptations soared up. We hit revenues for Temptations, and F&B, of course, definitely stayed afloat. And then the president came and to the realization and opened our minds. You still have a wedding, and you don't have to have a crowd.
A scientific wedding, the way you put it.
Yes, so he gave us the new norm of the scientific wedding. And to all husbands who are holding on to the weddings and saying, it's quite pretty expensive, everybody started running. For 5 million shillings, I can still have a wedding. For 3 million shillings, I can still have a wedding. And that chapter is closed of their lives. So we started seeing a surge of these scientific weddings come through. And it also helped sustain us throughout the period. So we're having delivery done for cakes, for food. We're having scientific weddings in the hotel. And for those that are coming in for the scientific weddings for lunch, you find yourself, the beer is so nice.
Well, you created a legacy for many people who got married here.
Yes.
I can speak from experience because my daughter had her wedding arrangements here.
Yes.
And she spent the first couple of nights as a married couple in your presidential suite.
Wow.
So, this is a kind of legacy I'm talking about. When generations of Ugandans, older and younger and future generations, will have a focal point when it comes to Kampala's hospitality.
Yes.
In the old days it was the Apollo Hotel, now it's a Sheraton.
Yes. So basically, people who didn't think they can have their wedding in this landmark hotel, like you've called it, they have had their memories here, they have had their dream fulfilled from this place. So it was fantastic. So moving on, we sailed through and stayed afloat, utilizing F&B especially. And in May, when the government opened up, eased the lockdown, if I can't say that, we came up with the idea, the staycation packages. So we said, for Ugandans, maybe you have just watched Sheraton from a distance. How about you coming, being part of it, to experience the hotel in its entirety and have your bucket list ticked off that I stayed at the Sheraton. So we came up with amazing staycation packages for either F&B, we could say as well, I just want to come and have an experience in your restaurants. So we can't say staycation, you may not stay over or sleep over, but you have spent a day spent at the hotel, having amazing food with amazing friends and family that are closest to you. And so basically we have gone along those lines of these packages, and now we relaunched our Sunday breakfast. It's back, it's nicer, it's bigger, it's beautiful, good food, good entertainment for the children and family, keeping social distancing, of course, in place, and all the other measures that have been put in place for the hospitality industry and the government. So we have evolved generally in how we do our business, but still making sure that the other sentiments are not left aside. So here and now, we are trying to push domestic tourism until we see that the airport can open. Hopefully when the airport opens, we shall see business coming back. However, my predictions are business may not necessarily come back the way it was immediately. There is a consciousness to travel from everyone. I'm sure yourselves there, you're kind of skeptical. You want to put your foot forward and put your foot back and see whether is it okay.
How safe are we?
How safe?
Flying on an aircraft and sitting in the middle seat.
Yes, exactly. But I had the middle seat is supposed to come out. So, you face the other direction, the opposite direction. So let's see how it's going to be. So everyone wants to see, unless there is a burning issue, there is something that you need to go and see a loved one. But for leisure or for business, there are remote ways of working. We have seen an introduction of web conferencing with Zoom, Microsoft Teams.
And you're hosting them here at the hotel.
Yes, we do host them here in the hotel on a daily basis. Actually,
yeah.
Every meeting that is taking place here, it has web conferencing, teleconferencing that is being requested for and utilized. So we've seen that the world has moved, things have changed, the way of thinking has changed, technology has gone ahead to implement certain things that we used to use with our feet. Now we're using them with technology. So
well, the question has been asked, which industry around the world has still benefited from this global pandemic? And it's IT.
IT.
The technology
Absolutely.
certainly is the biggest beneficiary of that.
Absolutely.
And of course, the travel business is the biggest loser in it all.
A very, very big loser. But we just hope that this wave and this will go away. But it cannot go, of course, definitely until we see a vaccine. Maybe people have confidence when they see a vaccine out. When the vaccine comes out, that is another question for another day. So, but we're just hoping and praying that we stay optimistic, not pessimistic.
Sheraton is part of Starwood Hotels, which has been bought out a couple of years ago by Marriott Hotels International.
Yes.
It's the largest hotel and hospitality group in the world now. To what extent have you, given the scenario of global lockdowns coming up and being relaxed and the challenges the hotel industry has around the world, to what extent have you benefited from the association with Sheraton? This is a franchised hotel.
Yes.
But to what extent have you benefited from Sheraton's marketing support and from Marriott's marketing support?
So at the beginning of the lockdown, most of the hotels, Marriott hotels across the world, actually closed indefinitely or definitely, you never know, but most of them they're trying to reopen. And during that closure, we were meant to be step back, silence a bit, and take in. So after a few months, 2 months I can say, Marriott released a very good campaign and introducing, first of all, saying that we will travel again. And it was our campaign that took the wave. Everybody it was all over Facebook, all over social media, it was all over, the international scene, giving people hope that we shall travel again. So that was the icebreaker for after such a period, to tell you that we have you, we know you, we have you at heart, and we shall travel again. And then they went ahead to come up with a Marriott Cleanliness Council. The Marriott Cleanliness Council comprises of doctors and professors and scientists, and of course definitely with the Marriott team as well, that came together and forged a way of how do they package our hotel in terms of cleanliness SOPs that can make us stand out and continue to extend our extinguished services to the customers, to instill the confidence that they will come to our hotels and it will be safe and it will be clean and it will be okay for them to stay in our hotels. So they came up with a very detailed program that we have all gone through as staff. Every staff that has been home, when you get back to the property, you have to be to be taken through the training. We have a cleanliness champion, and every property in Marriott all over the world has appointed a cleanliness champion that goes through all the trainings, and that person comes back and imparts the same knowledge to every staff on property to be able to be able to actually exercise and perform the duties as been stipulated and put in place. So we know, when you find the way we're cleaning here, that is how Sheraton in Lagos is supposed to clean. That is how Sheraton in Tunis or Cairo is supposed to clean. So we have all, and these measures and all these cleanliness activities have been echoed all over the place. We have been on all international scene, and our publicity and PR companies have been talking about how we have heightened our hygiene and safety standards.
It's called leadership by example.
By example, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Would you like to add something which I haven't touched or haven't asked about, Jacqueline?
So at the Sheraton, like I was saying, we definitely look forward to receiving you. We have not changed in terms of what we serve or what we give. What has changed is how next we sit next to you. Definitely that one has changed. But the service that you will get, everything that we've been doing is still unrivaled. It is still the 5-star service that you will expect and experience. So for your safety and for your comfort and for your comfort, we are still saying that we are confident into the brand, that it can deliver above and beyond the expectations of the guests.
Well, ATC News viewers, listeners and readers, there you have it from the horse's mouth. Jacqueline Mugisha, Director of Sales and Marketing at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, thank you very much for the time you've given us, and we all wish you the very best in the challenging days, weeks and months ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.